Well, Mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Oh, take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, they will pass. You'll find a woman, oh yeah, and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above, and be a simple kind of man. Oh, be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Get your lust from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul, and you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. So baby, be a simple kind of man. Or be something you love and understand.
Oh, what a spice, 'cause it means destruction of innocent lies. Woman still to the titan of my desires. When the sons go have to fight, I lose their lives. I lose their lives.
Oh!
further! Hear me speak! Speak! First, you are resolved. Rather to die than to famish, we're resolved. First, you know Caius Marcius is chief enemy to the people.
We know it.
Let us kill him. We'll have corn at our own price. It's the verdict!
One word, good citizens. Would you proceed especially against Caius Marcius?
Against him first. He's very dog to the commonalty.
Consider you what services he's done for his country.
Very well. And could be content to give him good report for it, but that he pays himself with being proud.
Nay, speak not maliciously.
I say unto you, what he hath done famously, he did it to that end. Though soft-conscious men can be content to say it was for his country, he did it to please his mother, and to be partly proud, which he is, even to the extent of his virtue.
What he cannot help in his own nature, you account a vice in him?
The other side of the city has risen. Why stay reparating here? To the capital!
To the capital!
Soft, who comes here?
Worthy Menenius Agrippa, one that hath always loved the people.
He's one honest enough, where all the rest were so.
What works, my countrymen, at hand? Where go you with the bats and clubs? The matter, speak, I pray you.
Our business is not unknown to the Senate. They had an inkling this fortnight what we intend to do, which now will show them in deeds. They say poor suitors have strong breaths. We'll show them we have strong arms, too.
I tell thee, friends, most charitable care have the patricians of you. For your wants, your suffering in the dearth, you may as well strike at the heavens with your staves as lift them against the Roman state, whose course will on, the way it takes, cracking 10,000 curves of more strong link asunder than could ever appear in your impediment. For the dearth, the gods, not the patricians, make it, and your knees, not arms, to them must help. Alack, you are transported by calamity thither where more attends you, and you slander the helms of the state who care for you like fathers when you curse them as enemies.
Care for us. True indeed, they ne'er cared for us yet. Suffer us to famish, and their storehouses crammed with grain. Make edicts for usury to support usurers. Daily repeal any wholesome act established against the rich, and provide more piercing statutes to chain up and restrain the poor. If the wars eat us not up, they will, and there's all the love they bear us.
Either you must confess yourselves wondrous malicious, or be accused of folly. I shall tell you a pretty tale. It may be you have heard it, but since it serves my purpose, I'll venture to stale it a little more.
Well, I'll hear it, sir. You must not think to fob off our disgrace with a tale. But and please you, deliver.
There was a time when all the body's members rebelled against the belly. Thus accused it that only like a gulf it did remain in the midst of the body, idle and unactive, still covering the viand, never bearing like labor, with the rest, where the other instruments did see and hear, devise, instruct, walk, feel, and mutually participate, did minister unto the action of infection common of the whole body. The belly answered.
Well, sir, what answer made the belly?
Sir, I will tell you. With a kind of smile which ne'er came from the lungs, but even thus, for look you, I may make the belly smile as well as speak. It tauntingly replied to the discontented members, the mutinous parts that envied his receipt. Even so most fitly as you malign our senators, for that they are not such as you.
Your belly's answer, what?
I will tell you, if you'll bestow a small of what you have little patience a while, you'st hear the belly's answer.
You're long about it.
Note me this, good friend. Your most grave belly was deliberate, not rash like his accusers, and thus answered. True is it, my incorporate friends, quoth he, that I receive the general food at first which you do live upon, and fit it is, because I am the storehouse and the shop of the whole body. But, if you do remember, I send it through the rivers of the blood, even to the court, the heart, to the seat of the brain, and though all at once cannot see what I do deliver out to each, Yet I can make my audit up, that all from me do back receive the flower of all, and leave me but the bran. What say you to it?
It was an answer. How apply you this?
The senators of Rome are this good belly, and you the mutinous members. For example, their counsels and their cares digest things rightly, touching the weal of the common. You shall find no public benefit which you receive, but it proceeds or comes from them to you, and no way from yourselves. What do you think, you the great toe of this assembly?
I, the great toe. Why the great toe?
For that, being one of the lowest, basest, poorest of this most wise rebellion, thou goest foremost. Up, hail, noble Marcius.
Thanks. What's the matter? You dissentious rogues that rubbing the poor edge of your opinion make yourselves scabs.
Yeah, ever your good word.
He that will give good words to thee will flatter beneath the pouring. What would you have? You curs that wants not peace or war. The one frights you, the other makes you proud. He that trusts you where he should find you lions finds you hares, where foxes geese. You are no surer than the coal of fire upon the ice or the hailstone in the sun. Hang ye. Trust ye. With every second you do change a mind. You cry against the noble senate, who under the gods keep you in awe. What's their seeking?
For corn at their own rates, whereof they say the city is well stored.
They say, hang 'em. They'll sit by the fire and presume to know what's done in the capital. They say there's grain enough. But would the nobility lay aside their ruth and let me take up my sword, I'd make a quarry with 1,000 of their quartered slaves as high as I could pick my lance.
Nay, they are almost thoroughly persuaded. What says the other troop?
They're dissolved. Hang 'em. They said they were in Hungary, sighed forth proverbs, that hunger broke stone walls, that meat was made for mouths, that the gods sent not corn for rich men only. With these shreds they vented their complaining, shouting their emulations, and elected 2 tribunes to defend their vulgar wisdoms. Junius Brutus, Sicinius Volutus. The rabble should have first unroofed this city, or so prevailed with me. This will in time win upon further themes for insurrections argue.
This is strange.
Go! Get you home, you fragments.
Marcius!
Cominius, what's the matter?
The news is, sir, the vultures are in arms.
I'm glad on it.
Oh.
They have a leader. Tell us Ophidius who will put you to it. I sin in envying his nobility. Nor I anyone but who I am, I wish me only he.
You have fought together.
Were half to half the world by the ears, and he upon my party, I'd revolt, make only my wars with him. He's a lion, I'm proud to hunt.
The noble Marcius attend to Cominius with these wars.
It is your former promise.
Sir, it is. I am constant. Titus Lartius, thou shalt see me once more strike at Tullus's face! What? Art thou stiff? Stand stout.
No, Gaius Marcius. I'll lean on one crutch and fight with the other as stay behind this business.
Oh, true bred.
Young company to the capital, where I know our greatest friends attend us.
Lead you on.
To your homes.
Nay! Let them follow. The Volsces have much corn. Take these rats thither to gnaw their garners. Worshipful mutineers! Your valor puts well forth.
Is ever man as proud as this Marcius? us.
He has no equal.
But we were the chosen tribunes of the people.
Marked you his lip and eye.
Nay, but he taunts.
Yes, being moved, he will not spare to gird the gods.
Oh, be mocked the modest moon.
The present wars devour him. He's grown too proud to be so valiant.
Such a kind when tickled with good success often disdains the shadow he treads on at noon. Come, let us hear how this dispatch is made.
You can move it out, you can move it wild, because of the color of the skin. Rolling, but you should get high. Alive, 242, vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on.
So your opinion is, Phidias, that they of Rome are entered into our councils and know how we proceed.
Is it not yours? Whatever have been thought on in this state that could be brought to bodily act ere romance circumvention? It is not 4 days gone since I have heard thence. They are the words. I think I have the letter here. Yes, here it is. They have pressed the power, but it is not known whether for east or west. The dearth is great, the people mutinous, and it is rumored Cominius, Marcius, your old enemy, who is of Rome worse hated than of you, and Titus Lartius, a most valiant Roman, their three lead on this preparation whether 'tis been. Most likely 'tis for you. Consider that.
Our army is in the field. We never yet made doubt, but Rome was ready to answer us.
Nor did you think it folly to keep your great pretenses veiled till they needs must show themselves, which in the hatching it seemed appeared to Rome. By the discovery will be shortened in our aim, which must have taken many towns ere almost Rome should know we were afoot.
Let us alone, guard Coriolanus. If they sit down before us for the remove, bring up your army. But I think you'll find they have not prepared for us.
Oh, doubt not that. I speak from certainties, nay, more. Some parcels of their power are forth already, and only hitherward. I leave your honors. If we, Caius Marcius, chance to meet to sword between us both, we shall ever strike till one can do no more.
The gods assist you.
Keep your honors safe.
I pray you, daughter, sing, or express yourself in a more comfortable sort. If my son were my husband, I would freelier rejoice in that absence wherein he won honor, than in the embracements of his bed where he would show most love. When he was but tender-bodied, and the only son of my womb, when youth with comeliness plucked all gaze his way, and for a day of king's entreaties, a mother might not sell him 1 hour from her beholding. I, considering how honor would become such a person, and that it was merely picture-like to hang by the wall, if renown made it not stir, was pleased to let him seek danger where he might find fame. To a cruel war I sent him, whence he returned, his brows bound with oak. I tell thee, daughter, I sprang not more in joy on first hearing he was a man-child, than now, on first seeing he has proved himself a man.
But had he died in the business, madam, how then?
Well, then his good report would have been my son. Therein I would have found issue. Hear me profess. Sincerely, had I a dozen sons, each in my love alike, and none less dear than thine, my good Marcius, I would rather have 11 of them die nobly for their country, than one voluptuously surfeit out of action.
Beseech you, give me leave to retire myself.
Indeed you shall not. I think I hear husband's drum. See him pluck Phidias down by the hair, like children from a bear, the vultures shunning him. See him stamp thus and call thus, "Come on, you cowards! You were got in fear, though you were born in Rome." And then his bloody brow with his mailed fist wiping, forth he goes like to a harvest man who is tasked to mow o'er all or else lose his hire.
His bloody brow, oh Jupiter, no blood!
Away, you fool! It more becomes a man than gilt his trophy. The breast of Hecuba, as she did suckle Hector, looked not lovelier than Hector's forehead as it spit forth blood at Grecian swords contending. Menenius, we are fit to bid you welcome.
Heavens bless my lord from fell Phidias.
Kill! Kick Phidias' head below his knees and tread upon his neck.
My lady's both, good day to you.
My good lord.
I am glad to see your lordship.
How do you both? You are manifest housekeepers. What are you sewing here? Ooh, a fine spot in good faith. How does your little son?
I thank your lordship well, good sir.
He would rather see the swords and hear the drum than look upon his schoolmaster.
My word, the father's son. I'll swear, 'tis a very pretty boy. Well, on my troth, when I just this moment looked upon him, he had such a confirmed countenance. I saw him run after a gilded butterfly, and when he caught it, he let it go again. And after it again, and over he comes, and up again, and catched it, and whether his fall enraged him, or how 'twas, he did so set his teeth and tear it. Ugh, I warrant how he mimicked it.
One on his father's moods.
Indeed, la, 'tis a noble child.
A crack, sir.
Come, lay aside your stitchery.
No, good sir, I will not out of doors.
Not out of doors.
Oh, she shall.
Indeed, no, by your patience, I'll not over the threshold till my lord return from the wars.
Why, you confine yourself most unreasonably. Come.
I will wish you speedy strength, and visit you with my prayers, but I cannot go thither.
Why, I pray you.
It is not to save labor, not that I want love.
Why, you would be another Penelope. Yet, as they say, all the yarn she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill Ithaca full of moths. Come, I would your cambric were sensible as your finger, that you might leave pricking it for pity. Come, you shall go with us.
No, good lord, pardon me. Indeed, I will not forth.
In truth, La, go with me, and I'll tell you excellent news of your husband.
Oh, good Menenius, there can be none yet.
Verily, I do not jest with you. There came news from him last night.
Indeed.
In earnest, it's true. I heard the senator speaking. Thus it is. The Volscians have an army forth, against whom Cominius the general is gone with one part of our Roman power. Your lord and Titus Lartius are set down before their city Coriolanus. They nothing doubt prevailing, and to make it brief war. This is true, on mine honor, and so I pray go with us.
Give me excuse, good sir. I will obey you in everything hereafter.
Let her alone, Menenius. As she is now, she will but disease out better mirth.
Fare you well, then. Come, good sweet lady. Prithee, Virgilia, turn thy sullenness out of door and go along with us.
Indeed, I must not. I wish you much mirth.
Well then, farewell.
Yonder comes news. A wager. They've met.
My horse to yours, no?
Is it not? Agreed. Say, has our general met the enemy?
They lie in view, but have not spoke as yet.
Ha ha! So the good horse is mine.
I'll buy him of you.
No! I'll nor sell nor give him. Lend you him I will for 100 years. Some in the town.
How far off lie these armies?
Within this mile and a half.
Shall we hear their alarm and they ours? Tell us, Phidias, see within your walls.
No, nor a man that fears you less.
They fear us not, but issue forth their city. Now put your shields before your hearts and fight with hearts more proof than shields. Advance, brave Titus. They do disdain us much beyond our thoughts, and that does make me sweat with wrath. Come on, my fellows. He that retires, I'll take him for a Volsci, and he shall feel mine edge. All the contagion of the south like you. Shames of Rome! You heard of boils and plagues plaster you over that you may be abhorred. You souls of geese that bear the shapes of men. How have you run from slaves that apes would beat? Pluto and hell, all hurt from behind, backs red and faces pale with flight nagging fear. Mend, charge home, or by the fires of heaven I'll leave the foe and make my wars on you.
It's not I.
Nor I.
See, they have him shut in.
To the pot I warn him.
What has become of Marcius?
Plain, sir, cowardless.
He is himself alone to answer all the city.
Who sensibly outdares this senseless sword, and when it bows, stands up. Thou art lost, Marcius! Carbuncled and tired, as big as thou art, were not so rich a Jew. Thou wast a soldier! Even to Cato's wish, not terrible and fierce in strikes only. With thy grim looks, and the thunderous like percussion of thine sounds, thou madest thine enemies shake, as if the world were feverish and it trembled.
Where's Marcius?
It's lost!
Who's yonder? Gods, he has the stamp of Marcius, and I have before time seen him thus.
Am I too late?
The shepherd know not thunder from the tabor more than I know the sound of Marcius' tongue from every meaner man.
Am I too late?
Aye! If you come not in the blood of others, but mantled in your own,
I do beseech you. Send me against Aufidius.
Though I could wish you were conducted to a gentle bath and balms applied to you, yet dare I never deny your asking. Take your choice of those that best can aid your action.
Those are they that most are willing. Any such be here. So we're sin to doubt that love this painting wherein thou seest me smeared. If anything brave death, how a bad life, and that his country is dearer than himself, let him alone. Or so many-minded wave thus to express his disposition and follow Marcius. Me alone. Make you a sword of me. None of you but I is able to bear against great Aufidius a shield as hard as his.
March on, my fellows. Make good this ostentation, and you shall divide in all with us.
Let the books be guarded. Keep your duties as I have set them down. If I do sin, dispense those sentries to our aid. They'll serve as a short hold. If we lose this field, we cannot keep the town.
Fight with none but thee. For I do hate thee worse than a promise breaker.
We ain't alike. But the three cones of serpent I abhor more than thy fame and envy. Fix thy foot.
The first butcher die, the other slave. The gods do them after.
If I fly, Marcius, hold me like a hare.
Then these their hours, Tullus. Alone I fought in your Corioli walls. Made what work I pleased. 'Tis not my blood wherein thou seest me masked. For thy revenge, wrench up thy power to the fullest.
If thou wert the Hector that was the whip of your braggart progeny, you shouldst not escape me here. Vicious. And not valiant. You shame me in your condemned seconds.
If I should tell thee o'er this, thy day's work, thou'lt not believe thy deeds. But I'll report it, where senators shall mingle tears with smiles, where great patricians shall attend and shrug, in the end admire, where ladies shall be frighted, and gladly quaked, hear more, where the dull tribunes that with the fusty plebeians hate thine honors shall say against their hearts, we thank the gods our Rome hath such a soul. Yet camest thou to a morsel of this feast, having fully dined before.
But he is the steed, we the comparison. Hast thou beheld in
No more of this!
My mother has a charter to extol her blood. When she does praise me, grieves me. I have done as you have done. That's what I can. Induces he that has but affected his goodwill hath o'ertaken mine act.
You shall not be the grave of your deserving. Rome must know the value of her own. 'Twere a concealment to hide your doings, and to silence that which to spire in top of praises vast would be but modest. Therefore, I beseech you, in sign of what you are, do not reward what you have done before our army hear me.
Some wounds about me, they are smart to hear themselves remembered.
Should they not? Might they fester with ingratitude and tempt themselves with death? Of all the horses whereof we have taken good and good store, of all the treasure in this field achieved in city, we render you a tenth to be taken before the common distribution at your only choice.
These same instruments which you profane never sound more. No more, I say.
Too modest are you. More cruel to your good report than grateful to us who give you truly. Just buy your patience. If against yourself you be incensed, we'll put you, as one who means his proper harm, in manacles, and reason safely with you. Therefore, be it known, as to us, to all the world, that Caius Marcius wears this war's garland. In token of the which, my noble steed, known to the camp, I give him, with all the trim belonging. And from this time, from what he did before Coriolanus, call him, with all the applause and clamor of the host, Caius Marcius Coriolanus! Bear the addition nobly ever.
I'll go wash. When my face is fair, you shall see how I blush or no. Howbeit, I thank you. I mean to stride your steed, and shall at all times undercrest your good addition to the fairness of mine.
So we to our tent. For ere we do repose this, we will write to Rome of our success. You, Titus Lartius, must to Corioli back. Send us to Rome the best, with whom we must articulate for our own good and theirs.
I shall, my lord.
The gods begin to mock me. I that now refuse most princely gift am bound to bed, my lord general.
Well, that tis yours. What is...
Sometime lay here in Coriolanus at a poor man's house. He used me kindly. He cried to me. Saw him prisoner. But then Ophidius was within my view, and wrath overwhelmed my pity. I beseech you, give my poor host freedom.
Oh, well begged. Were he the butcher of our son, he would be free as is the wind. Deliver him, Titus.
Marcius his name.
I, Jupiter, forgot. I'm weary. Nay, my memory is tired. And we no wine here.
Go we to our tent. The blood upon your visage dries. 'Tis time it should be looked to. Come.
The town is tame.
It will be delivered back on good condition.
Condition. And would I were a Roman. Or I cannot. Being the false be that I am. Condition. What good condition can a treaty find in the part that is in mercy? 5 times, Marcius, have I fought with thee, so often hast thou beat me. And wouldst do so, I think, should we encounter as often as we eat. By the elements. There again I meet him beard to beard, he is mine. Or I am his. Mine emulation hath not the honor it hath. For were I thought to crush him in an equal force, true sword with sword, I'll potch him some way. No wrath or craft make him.
He's the devil.
Bolder, though not so subtle. My valor's poison with only suffering stain by him. For him shall fly out of itself. Nor sleep, nor sanctuary, being naked, sick, nor fame, nor capital, the prayers of priests, nor times of sacrifice, embarkments all of fury, shall lift up my hate to Marcius. Where I find him, or at home, upon my brother's guard, even there, against the hospitable cannon, will I wash my fierce hand in his heart. Go ye to the city. Learn how to tell in what they are. There must be hostages for Rome.
Will not you go?
I am attended at the cypress grove. I pray you, to south the city mills. Bring me word thither how the world goes, and to the pace of it I may spur on my own journey.
The augur tells me we shall have news tonight.
Good or bad?
Not according to the prayer of the people, for they love not Marcius.
Nature teaches beasts to know its friends.
Pray you, who does the wolf love?
The lamb.
I, to devour him, as the hungry plebeians would the noble Marcius.
He's a lamb indeed, that bays like a bear.
He's a bear indeed, that lives like a lamb. You two are wise. Tell me one thing that I shall ask you.
Well, sir.
In what enormity is Marcius pouring that you two have not in abundance?
Oh, he's poor in no one fault, but stored with all.
Especially in pride.
And topping all others in boasting.
This is strange now. Do you two know how you are censured here in this city? I mean, of us of the right-hand file, do you?
Why? How are we censured here?
Because you talk of pride now. Will you not be angry?
Well, sir, well.
Why, 'tis no great matter. For a very little thief of occasion will rob you of a great deal of patience. Give your dispositions the reins, be angry at your pleasures. At the least, if you take it as a pleasure to you being so. You blame Marcius for for being proud.
We do not do it alone, sir.
Oh, I know you can do very little alone. For your helps are many, or else your actions would grow wondrous single now. Your abilities are too infant-like for doing much alone. You talk of your necks and make but an interior survey of your good selves. Oh, that you could.
What then, sir?
Why, then you should discover a brace of unmerited, proud, violent, testy magistrates, alias fools, as any in Rome.
Menenius, you are well known, sir, too.
I am known to be a humorous patrician, and one that loves a cup of hot wine with not a drop of allaying Tiber in it. Said to be something imperfect in favoring the first complaint, pasty and tinder-like upon too trivial motion, and one that converses more with the buttock of the night than with the forehead of the morning. What I think, I utter, and spend my malice in my breath.
Oh, come, sir. Come, we know you well enough.
You know neither me, yourselves, nor anything. You are ambitious for poor knaves, caps, and legs. You wear out a good wholesome forenoon in hearing a cause between an orange wife and a faucet seller, and then you adjourn the controversy of threepence to a second day of audience. And when you are hearing a matter between party and party, if you chance to be pinched with the colic, oh, you make faces like mummers. Set up the bloody flag against all patience, and in roaring for a chamber pot, dismiss the controversy bleeding, the more entangled be your hearing. And all the peace you make in their cause is calling both the parties knaves. You are a pair of strangers.
Come, you are well understood to be a perfecter jiber for the table than a necessary bencher in the capital.
Goddamn to your worships, the more if your conversation would infect my brain, being the herdsman of the beastie bleedings. I will be bold to take my leave of you. How now, my as fair as noble lady? Oh, and the moon, were she earthly, no nobler. Whither do you follow your eyes so fast?
Oh, Honorable Menenius, my boy Marcius approaches. For the love of Juno, let's go.
Marcius coming home.
Aye, worthy Menenius, and with most prosperous approbation.
Take my cap, Jupiter, and I thank thee. Marcius coming home.
Here's a letter from him. And the state has another, his wife another, and I think there's one at home for you.
I will make my very house reel tonight. A letter for me.
Yes, certain. There's a letter for you. I saw it.
A letter for me. It gives me an estate of 7 years' health, in which time I will make a lip at the physicians. The most sovereign prescription in Galen is but empiricutic, and to this preservative of no better report than a horse trench. Is he not wounded? He was wont to come home wounded.
Oh, he is wounded. I thank the gods for it.
So do I too, if it be not too much. Now brings a victory in his pocket, the wounds become him.
Odds brows, Menenius. He comes the third time home with the oaken garland.
As he disciplined Ophidius soundly.
I just right. They fought together, but Ophidius got off.
Well, 'twas time for him to, I'll warrant him that. Then he stayed by him. Well, I have not been so Ophidius for all the chests in Coriolanus, and the gold that's in them. Is the senate of this?
Oh, yes. The Senate has letters from the general wherein he gives to my son the whole name of the war. He has in this action outdone his former deeds doubly.
Where is he wounded?
In the shoulder, in the left arm. There will be large cicatrices to show the people when he shall stand for his place. In the repulse of Tarquin, he received severed hurts to the body.
The one in the neck, 2 in the thigh. There's 9 that I know.
Before this last engagement, he had 25 hurts upon him.
Now it's 27. Every gash was an enemy's grave. Who comes here?
Oh, those are the ushers of Marcius. Before him, he brings noise. Behind him, he leaves tears. Death, that dark shadow in his nervy arm doth lie, that being advanced, declines, and then men die.
No Rome, that all alone Marcius did fight within Coriolanus gates, where he hath won with fame a name to Caius Marcius. These and noble honors follows Coriolanus. Welcome now the renowned Coriolanus.
Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus.
No more of this. Does offend my heart. Right now, no more.
Good sir, your mother.
You have, I know, petitioned all the gods for my prosperity.
Nay, my good soldier, up! Gentle Marcius, worthy Caius, and now, by deed achieving honors newly named, what is it? Coriolanus must I call thee. But, thy wife.
Gracious silence, hail. Dost thou laugh to see me come coffined home that weeps to see me triumph? My dear, such eyes the widows in Coriolanus wear, and mothers that lack sons.
Now the gods crown me.
And live you yet?
I know not where to turn. Welcome home, and welcome, General, and welcome to you all.
The 100,000 welcomes. I could weep and I could laugh. I am light and heavy. Welcome. A curse be in a very root on's heart that is not glad to see thee.
I have lived to see the inheritance of my very wishes and the buildings of my fancy. There remains only one thing wanting, which I have no doubt our Rome shall cast upon me.
No, good mother. I'd rather be their servant in my way than sway with them in theirs.
To the capital.
All tongues speak of him, and the bleared sights are spectacle to see him.
On the sudden I warrant him counsel.
And our office may during his power go sleep.
He cannot temperately transport the honors where he should begin and end, but he will lose what he hath won.
In that there's comfort.
Doubt not the commoners for which we stand, that in their ancient malice they will forget these his new honors, and he will give it them and make as little question as he is proud to do it.
I heard him swear. Were he to stand for consul, never would he appear in the marketplace, nor on him wear the napeless vesture of humility, nor showing, as the manner is, his scars to the people, beg their stinking breaths.
'Tis right.
'Tis his word. Oh, he would miss it rather carry it, but by the suited gentry to him, the desire of the nobles.
I wish no better than to hold him to that purpose and put it into execution.
'Tis most like he will.
It is, in our good wills, a sure destruction.
So it must fall out to him or our authority. For an end, we must suggest the people in what hatred he still hath held them, that to his power he would have made them mules, silenced their pleaders, and dispropertied their freedoms, holding them in human action incapacity of no more soul nor fitness in the world than camels in the war, who have their provant only in bearing burthens and sore blows for sinking under them.
This, as you suggested, in a time when his soaring insolence shall toughen the people, which time shall not want. He will be put onto it, and it will be as easy to cast dogs on sheep. This will be the fire to light his dry stubble, and his blaze will darken them forever.
What's the matter?
You're sent for the capital. It's thought that Marcius shall be consul. I've seen the dumb men throng to see him, and the blind to hear him speak. Matron flung gloves, ladies and maids, their scarves and handkerchiefs upon him as he passed. The nobles bended as to Jove's statue. The people made a thunder and shower with their caps and shouts. I never saw the like.
Well, let's do the capital! And carry with us ears and eyes for the time, but hearts for the event.
Come with you.
He's a noble man, but he's vengeance proud and loves not the common people.
Faith, there have been many great men that have flattered the people who ne'er loved them. And there be many that they love, they know not wherefore. So that if they love, they know not why. They hate upon no better ground. Therefore, for Coriolanus neither to care whether they love nor hate him manifests the true knowledge he has in their disposition. And out of his noble carelessness, lets them plainly see it.
If he did not care whether he had their love or no, he waved indifferently to it, doing them neither harm nor good. But he seeks their hatred with a greater devotion than they can render it him, and leaves nothing undone that can fully discover him their opposite. So to seem to affect such malice and displeasure of the people is as base as that which he dislikes. Flatter them for their love.
He hath deserved worthily of his country, and his ascent is not by such easy degrees as those who, having been supple and courteous to the people, bonneted, without any further deed to have them at all into their estimation and report. But he hath so planted his honors in their eyes, and his actions in their hearts, that for their tongues to be silent and not confess so much were a kind of ingrateful injury. To report otherwise were a malice that, giving itself the lie, would pluck reproof and rebuke from every ear that heard it.
Enough of him. He's a worthy man. Make way, the rest are coming.
Please you, most reverend and brave tribunes, to desire the present consul and last general and our well-found successors, to report a little of that worthy work performed by Caius Marcius Coriolanus, whom we met here both to thank and to remember with honors like himself.
We are convented upon a pleasing treaty with hearts inclinable to honor and advance the meaning of our assembly.
Which the rather we shall be blessed to do if he remember a kinder value of the people than he hath hereto prized the man.
That's off. I would you rather have been silent. Please you to hear Cominius speak.
Most willingly. But yet my caution was more pertinent than the rebuke you give it.
He loves your people, but tie him not to be their bedfellow. Proceed, worthy Cominius. Nay, keep your place.
Stay, Coriolanus. Never ashamed to hear what you have nobly done.
Your Honor's pardon. I'd rather my wounds heal again than hear say how I got.
Oh, sir, I hope my words dispensed you not.
No, sir. Yet oft when blows have made me stay, I fled from words. You soothe not, therefore hurt not. And your people, I love them as they weigh.
Pray now.
I'd rather once scratch my head in the sun when the alarm were struck than idly sit to hear my nothing's monster.
Masters of the people, your multiplying spawn can he flatter? That's 1,000 to 1 good one. When you now see he would rather venture all his limbs on honor than on ears to hear it. Proceed, worthy Cominius.
I shall lack voice. The deeds of Coriolanus must not be uttered feebly. It is held that valor is the chiefest virtue and most dignifies the haver. If it be, then the man I speak of cannot in the world be singly counterpoised. At 16 years, when Tarquin made a head for Rome, he fought beyond the mark of others. Our then dictator, whom with all praise I point at, saw him fight. And with his Amazonian chin, he drove the bristled lips before him, bestrid an o'erpressed Roman, and in the consul's view, slew 3 opposers. Tarquin's self he met, and struck him on his knee. In the scene, he proved best man in the field, and for his meed was brow bound with the oak. His pupil age man entered thus, he waxed like a sea, and in the brunt of 17 battles since, he lurched all swords of the garland. For this last, before and in Coriolanus, let me say, I cannot speak him home. He stopped all flyers, and by his rare example made the coward turn terror into sport. As weeds before a vessel under sail, so men obeyed and fell below his stern. His sword, death's stamp, where it did mark, it took. Alone he entered the mortal gates of the city, which he painted with shunless destiny. Aidless came off, and with a sudden reinforcement struck Coriolanus like a planet. Now, all's his, when by and by the din of war gan pierce his ready sense, then straight his doubled spirit requickened what in flesh was fatigate. And to the battle came he, where he did run reeking o'er the lives of men, as if 'twere perpetual spoil. Until we called both field and city ours, he never stood to ease his breast with panting.
Worthy man.
He cannot but with good measure fit the honors which we devise.
Oh, our spoils he kicked at. He looked upon things precious as they were the common much of the world. Covets less than misery itself would give. Rewards his deeds with doing them. And is content to spend the time to end it.
He's right, noble.
The Senate Coriolanus is well pleased to make thee counsel.
I do owe them still my life and services.
It then remains that you do speak to the people.
I do beseech you, please let me o'erleap this custom. For I cannot put on the gown, stand naked, and entreat them for my wound's sake to give their suffrage. Please you that I may pass in this doing.
Sir, the people must have their voices, neither will they bate one jot of ceremony.
Put them not to it. Pray you, go fit you to the custom. Take to you, as your predecessors have, your honor with your form.
It's a part I shall blush in acting, and might well be taken from the people.
Mark you that.
To brag unto them, this I did, and that. To show them my unaching scars, as if I had received them for the hire of their breath only.
Do not stand upon it. We recommend to you, tribunes of the people, our purpose to them, and to our noble consul, wish we all joy and honor. To Coriolanus come all joy and honor.
You see how he intends to use the people?
Once, if we do require our voice, we ought not deny him. I may, sir, if I will. We have power in ourselves to do it, but it is a power that we have no power to do. For if he show us his wounds and tell us his deeds, we are to put our tongue into those wounds and speak for them. So, if he tell us his noble deeds, we are to tell him our noble acceptance of them. Ingratitude is monstrous, and for the multitude to be ungrateful were to make a monster of the multitude, of the which we, being members, should bring us to be monstrous members.
We have been called so of many. Not that our heads are not some brown, some black, some auburn, some bald, but that our wits are so diversely colored indeed. I think if all of our wits were to issue out of one skull, they would fly east, west, north, south, and their consent of one direct way would be at once at all the points of the compass.
Think you so? Which way do you judge my wit would fly?
'Tis firmly wedged in a blockhead, but toward at liberty, I think it would fly southward.
To lose itself in a fog, or being 3 parts melted away with rotten dew. You are resolved to give your voice. 'Tis no matter. The greater part carries it. I say, if he would incline himself to the people, there is no worthier man. Mark, here he comes. And in the gown of humility, mark his behavior. We are not to come to him where he stands. We are not to stay all together, but to come to him where he stands, by ones, by twos, by threes. He's to make his requests by particulars, wherein each one of us has he's to ask us an honor, and we have each of us our single honor in our own voice. Therefore, follow me, and I'll direct you how you should go for him. Content.
Oh, sir, you are not right. Have you not known the worthiest men have done it?
What must I say? I pray, sir, plague upon it. I cannot bring my tongue to such a pace. Look, sir, my wounds! I got them in my country's service when some certain of our brethren roared and fled from the noise of our own drums.
The gods, you must not speak of that. You must desire them to think upon you.
Think upon me. Hang them. Would they would forget me, like the virtues are divines used by them.
You'll mar all. I'll leave you. Pray you, speak to them. I pray you, in a wholesome manner. Wash their faces and keep their teeth clean.
You know the cause, sirs, of my standing here?
We do, sir. Tell us what hath brought you to it.
Mine own desert.
Your own desert.
Aye, but not mine own desire.
How not your own desire?
No, sir, it was never my desire to trouble the poor with begging.
You must think if we give you anything, we hope to gain by you.
Well, then I pray, your price of the consulship.
The price? Ask it kindly.
Kindly. I pray. Let me have it. I have some wounds to show you, which shall be yours, and private, your good choice, sirs. What say you?
You shall have it, worthy sir.
May it sound to the tune of your voices. I have here the customary gown.
You have deserved nobly of your country, and you have not deserved nobly.
Your enigma.
You have been a scourge to her enemies. You have been a rod to her friends. You have not indeed loved the common people.
You should account me all the more virtuous that I have not been common in my love. I will counterfeit the bewitchment of some popular man, and therefore give it bountiful the desirous. I beseech you, I may be consul.
We hope to find you our friend, and therefore give you our voices heartily.
You have received many wounds.
I will not seal your knowledge with showing them. I will make much of your voices, and therefore trouble you no further.
Gods be good to you, sir. Heartily.
Most sweet voices. Better it is to die, better to starve than crave the higher first we do deserve. Why in this wolvish toque should I stand here to beg of Hob and Dick that do appear? They're needless vouches. Custom calls me to it. What custom wills in all things should we do it? The dust on antique time would lie unswept, and mountainous air be too highly heaped for truth to appear. Rather than fool it so, that the high office and the honor go to one that would do thus. I am the one part suffered, the other will do.
You have stood your limitation, and the tribunes endue you with the people's voice. Remains that in the official marks invested you, anon do meet the Senate.
Is this done?
The custom of request you have discharged, and the people are summoned to meet you upon your approbation.
Where at? The Senate House.
There, Coriolanus.
May I change these garments?
You may, sir.
That I'll straight do, and knowing myself again, repair to the Senate House.
We'll keep you company. Will you along?
Oh, we stay here for the people.
Very well. He has it now, and methinks, by his look, 'tis warm at his heart.
Yes, with a proud heart he wore his humble weeds. Will you gather the people?
How now, my masters, have you chosen this man?
He has our voices, sir.
Oh, we pray the gods he deserves your loves.
Amen, sir. To my poor unworthy notice, he mocked us when he begged our voices.
Certainly he flouted us downright.
No, 'tis his kind of speech. He did not mock us.
He said he had wounds which he could show in private, and thus waving his hat in scorn. I would be consul, says he, aged custom, but by your voices, therefore. When we granted him that, here was, I thank you for your voices. Thank you, your most sweet voices. Now that I have your voices, I have no further with you. Was not this mockery?
Why, were you ignorant in seeing it, and seeing it of such childlike friendliness? Did you yield your voices?
Did you perceive he did solicit you in free contempt? And do you think his contempt will not be bruising to you when he hath power to crush? Why? Had your bodies no hearts among you? Or had you tongues to cry against the rectorship of judgment?
Have you ere now denied the asker, and now ye not unto him that did not mock, but ask, bestow your suit 4 times?
He is not confirmed. We may deny him yet.
And we'll deny him. I'll have 500 voices of that sound.
I twice 500, and their friends to peace them.
We'll get you hence instantly, and tell these friends they have chose a consul that will from them take their liberties, make them of no more voice than dogs that are as often beat for barking as therefore kept to do so.
Let them assemble, and on safer judgment all revoke your ignorant election, and force his pride and his own hate unto you! Besides, forget not the scorn for which he wore the humble weed. Now in his contempt he scorned you, and your loves, thinking upon his services, did he take from you the approbation of his current zealing, for which he most ungravely and gibingly fashioned in the inveterate hate he hears you.
And lay a fault on us, your tribunes, that we labored no impediment between, but you must cast your election on him.
Say you chose him more after our commandment than as guided by your own true affections, and that your minds preoccupied with what you must do rather than what you should, made you against the grain to voice him counsel. Lay the fault on us.
Aye, spare us not. Say we read lectures to you, how youngly he began to serve his country, how long continued, and of what stock he sprung up were his great ancestors.
One thus ascended ought to be set high in place, but you have found in your present zealing with his past that he is your fixed enemy, and you revoke your sudden approbation.
Say you ne'er have done it. Harp on that still, but by our putting on. And presently, when you have drawn your number, repair to the capital.
We will so almost all repent in our election.
Let them go on. This mutiny were better put in hazard than stay passed out for greater. If, as his nature is, he falls in a rage at their refusal, both observe and answer the vantage of his anger.
To the capital come, we will be there before the stream of people, and it will seem as their own which we have goaded onward.
Tell us, Ovidius, the made new head.
He had, my lord, and that it was which caused our swifter composition.
So then the Volsci stand it out at first, ready to make road upon us again.
They are warned, Lord Consul, so that we shall hardly in our ages see their banners wave again.
Saw you, Ovidius?
On safeguard he came to me, and did curse against the Volscis for so vilely yielding the town, which retired to Antium.
Spoke he of me?
He did, my lord.
What?
How often he had met you, sword to sword. That of all things upon this earth, he hated your person the most. And he would pawn his fortune to hopeless restitution, so he might be called your vanquisher.
At Antium? Let's see.
At Antium.
Wish I had cause to seek him there. To oppose his hatred full. Welcome home! These are the tribunes of the people, the tongues of the common mouth. I do despise them. For they do prank them in authority against all noble sufferance.
Pass no further.
What is that?
It will be dangerous to go on, no further.
What makes this change?
The matter.
Hath he not passed the noble and the common?
Cominius, no.
Have I had children's voices?
Tribunes, give way. He shall to the marketplace.
The people are incensed against him.
Stop, or all will end in a broil.
Are these your herd? Must these have voices that can yield them now and straight disclaim their tongues? What are your offices? You being their mouths, why rule you not their teeth? Do not set them on.
Be calm. Be calm.
It is a purpose thing, and it grows by plot to curb the will of the nobility.
Call it not a plot. The people cry, you mock them. And of late, when corn was given them gratis, you repined, scandaled the suppliance of the people, called them time-pleasers, flatterers, foes to nobleness.
Why, this was known before!
Not to them all.
You informed them, citizens?
How I inform them.
No, you are like to do such business.
Not unlike each way to better yours.
Why then should I be consul? By on clouds, let me deserve so ill as you, and make me your fellow tribute.
Let's be calm.
No more words, we beseech you.
Tell me of corn. This was my speech, and I'll speak it again.
Not now. Not now.
Not in this heat, sir, now?
Now as I live, I will! My nobler friends, I crave their pardons. But for the mutable, rank-scented man, let them regard me as I do not flatter and therein behold themselves. I say again, in soothing them, we nourish against our Senate the cockle of rebellion, insolence, sedition, that we ourselves have plowed for, sowed, and scattered by mingling them with us, the honored number, who lack not virtue, no, nor power, than that we have given to beggars.
No more.
How no more? As for my country, I have shed my blood, not feeling outward force. So shall my lungs coin words till their decay against those measles which we disdain should tether us, yet sought the very way to catch them.
You speak of the people as if you were a god to punish, not a man of their infirmity.
For well the people know it.
What, his collar?
Collar! Dry as calm as the midnight sleep, by Jove, would be my mind.
It is a mind that shall remain where it is and not poison any further.
Shall remain. Shall. Oh, good, but most unwise patricians. If you given Hydra here to choose an officer, with her shall being the horn and nose of the monsters once not spears to say she'll turn your curtain in a ditch and make your channel hers. You are plebeians, if they be senators. They choose their magistrate, in such a one as she, who puts her shall, her popular shall, against a grave bench that ever frowned in Greece. By Jove, this makes the consuls base! Thus, we debase the very nature of our seats. And my soul aches to know, when two authorities are up, neither supreme, how soon confusion may enter twixt the gap of both, and take the one by the other!
Why shall the people give one who speaks thus their voice?
I'll give my reasons, more worthier than their voices. They know the corn was not our recompense. Resting well assured they never did service for it! Being pressed to the war, even when the navel of the state was touched, they would not thread the gates. This type of service does not serve corn gratis! Well, what then? How shall this bosom multiplied digest the Senate's courtesy? Let deeds express what's like to be their words. We did request it. We are the greater poll, and in true fears, they gave us our demands. Thus, we debase the very nature of our seats, and make the rabble call our cares fears. Which will in time break up the locks of the Senate, and invite in the crows to peck the eagles.
Enough with overmeasure.
No, take more! Nothing is done to purpose. Therefore, beseech you, You that will be less fearful than discreet, that love the fundamental part of the state more than doubt the change on it, that prefer a noble life to a long, and wish to jump a body with a dangerous physic that's sure of death without it. At once, pluck out the multitudinous tongue. Let them not lick the sweet, which is their poison. Your dishonor mangles true judgment.
Yes,
and bereaves the
enough.
state of the integrity which should be coming.
Enough! Be like a traitor and shall answer as traitors do.
Manifest treason!
Is this a council? No, let him be apprehended.
It's been a hands up! Hence, thing, I'll shake thy bones out of thy garments.
Behold, people.
On both sides, more respect.
This is a man that shall take from you all of your power.
Seize him!
Down with him!
Down with him! The whole! What? Peace! See, I am out of breath, confusion, fear. I cannot speak. Tribute to the people's patience. Coriolanus, speak. Good to see you.
Peace! People, hear me speak.
Yes, let's hear our tribune speak.
You are at a point to lose your liberties. Marcius will have all from you. Marcius, who you recently named for council.
Fie! This is the way to kindle, not to quench.
To unbuild the city and lay all flat.
What is the city but the people?
True! The people are the city!
And by the consent of all, we were established the people's magistrates.
And so remain!
And so are like to do.
That is the way to lay the city flat. To bring the roof to the foundation and bury all, which yet distinctly ranges in heaps and piles of ruin.
This deserves death.
Let us stand to our authority, or let us lose it.
Yes.
We do here pronounce upon the part of the people in whose power we were elected theirs, Marcius is worthy of present death.
Hence lay hands on him and bear him to the Roctopian, and into destruction cast him.
Take him away.
Yield, Marcius!
Hear me! Yield, my lord, beseech you! Tribunes, hear me, but a word. Be that you seem truly your country's friend, and temperately proceed to what you would thus violently redress.
Sir, those cold ways that seem like prudent helps are very poisonous when the disease is virus. Lay hands on it, bear him to the right.
No!
There's some among you that will be fighting.
Come!
Show yourselves what you've seen.
Down with that blade! Tribunes, withdraw a while!
Down with him!
Would they were barbarians, as they are in Rome. Not Romans, though in Rome littered, and can't report to the capital!
Be gone! Put not your worthy rage into your tongue. One time will owe another.
On fair ground, I could take 40 of them.
I could myself take up a brace of the best of them, yea, the 2 tribunes. But now is odds beyond arithmetic, and manhood is called foolery when it stands against a fallen fabric. Will you hence before the tag return?
May you be gone. Be gone. I'll try whether my old wit be in request of those that have the
This man has marred his fortune.
His nature is too noble for the world. He would not flatter Neptune for his trident, nor Jove for his power of thunder. His heart, his mouth, what his breast forges that his tongue must vent, and being angry does forget that ever he heard the name of death.
Present me death at the wheel, or a wild horse's hills, or pile 10 hills on the Tarpeian rock. The precipitation might downstretch below the beam of sight. Yet will I still be thus to them. Amuse you, mother. Do not prove me further. was wont to call them woolen vassals, things to buy and sell with goats, to show bare heads and congregations see on. Be still and wonder when one but of my ordinance stood up to speak of peace or war. Talk of you. Why did you wish me milder? Did you have me false to my nature? Rather say I play the man I am.
Oh, sir. Sir. I would have had you put your power well on before you had worn it out!
Let's go!
Might have been enough. The man you are was striving less to be so. Lesser had been the thwartings of your dispositions if you had not shown them how you were disposed ere they lacked the power to cross you.
But man, come, you have been too rough, something too rough. You must return and mend it.
There's no remedy, unless by not so doing our great city cleave in the midst and perish.
Pray, be counseled. I have a heart as little apt as yours, but a brain that leads by use of anger to better vantage.
Well said, noble woman. Before he should thus stoop to the herd, but that the violent fit of the time craves it as physic for the whole state, I would put mine armor on, which I could scarcely bear.
What must I do?
Return to the tribunes.
What then?
Repent what you have spoke.
To them. I cannot do it to them. Gods, lest I do it to them.
Are too absolute. Though therein you can never be too noble, save where extremities speak. I have heard you say, honor and policy, like unsevered friends in a war, do grow together. Grant that, and tell me, what each by the other lose in peace, that they combine not there.
A noble wish.
If it be honor in your wars to seem the same that you are not, and for your best ends you adopt your policy, how is it less or worse that it should seek companionship with honor in peace as well as war, since they stand each to the other in like request?
Why force you this?
Because now it lies you on to speak to the people, not of your own instruction, nor the matter which your heart prompts you, but with such words that are but rooted in your tongue. Bastards, syllables, of no allowance to your bosom's truth. This no more dishonors you at all than to take in a town with gentle words that else might put you to your fortune and the hazard of much blood. I would dissemble with my nature wherever my fortune and my friends at stake required that I should do so in honor. I am in this. Your wife, your son, these nobles, the senators, but you would rather show our general laps how you can frown than spend a fawn upon them for the inheritance of their loves and the safeguard of what that want might ruin.
Noble lady, come, go with us. Speak fair. You may salve so not what is dangerous present, but the loss of what is past.
I prithee, my son, now go to them. This in your hand, and having thus far stretched it, now be with them. Thy knee bussing the stones. For in such business action is eloquence and the eye of the ignorant more learned than the ear. Or say to them, thou art their soldier, and having been bred in broils, hath not the soft way which thou dost confess, were as fit for thee to use as they to claim in asking their good loves. But thou shalt frame thyself henceforth, forsooth, theirs, as far as thou dost have power and person.
This but done, even as she says, why, their hearts were yours, for they have pardons, being asked as free as words to little purpose.
Prithee, go and be ruled. Though I know thou wouldst rather follow thine enemy in a fiery gulf than flatter him in a bower. Where's Cominius?
I've been in the marketplace. In search as fit you make strong party, or else defend yourself by calmness or by absence. All's in anger.
Only fair speech.
I think 'twill serve if he can thereto frame his spirit.
He must, and he will. Come now, say you will, and be about it.
Must I show thee my embargoed sconce? Must I with base tongue give my noble heart a lie that it must bear? Well, I will do it. Yet were there the single plot to lose, this mold of marshes, they to dust should grind it and throw against the wind. To the marketplace! You have put me to such a part that never I shall discharge to the life.
Come, we'll prompt you.
My sweet son, I prithee, as thou hast said, my praises made thee first a soldier, to have my praise in this. Perform a part thou hast not done before.
Well, I'll do it. Away in my disposition, possess me some harlot spirit. A throat of war be turned, which quired but with my drum into a pipe as small as a eunuch, with a virgin's voice which lulls baby sleep. Smiles of knaves tint up my cheeks, schoolboys' tears take up the glasses of my sight. A beggar's tongue make motion through my lips. My armored knees, which bowed but in my stirrup bend like those that hath received in alms. I'll not do it, lest I cease to honor mine own truth, and by my body's action teach my mind the most inherent baseness.
It is my more dishonor to beg of thee than thou of them. Come all to ruin. Let thy mother rather feel thy pride than fear thy dangerous stoutness. For I mock at death with as big a heart as thou. Do as thou list. Thy valiantness was mine, thou supped it from me. But oh, thy pride, thyself.
Pray be content. Mother, I'm going. chide me no further. I'll mountebank their loves, cog their hearts from them, and return the most beloved of all the trades in Rome. Look, I'm going. Commend me to my wife that I'll return consul, or never trust to what my tongue can do in the way of flattery further.
Do as thou wilt.
Away, the tribunes do attend you. Arm yourself to answer mildly. For they are prepared with accusation, I hear, more strong than are upon you yet.
Mildly. Let's go. Let them accuse me by invention. I'll answer in mine honor.
Aye, but mildly.
Well, mildly be it then! Mildly!
With Menenius and those that always favored him.
Have you a catalog of all the voices we have procured according to the poll?
I have, 'tis ready.
Have they been counted by tribe?
I have.
Then let the people assemble thither, and when they hear me say, it shall be so, in the justice and strength of the common, be it either for fine, banishment, or death. When they hear me cry fine, let them cry fine. When they hear me cry death, let them cry death, and insisting on the old prerogative and the justice and strength of the common.
I shall inform them.
And in such a time as they have begun to cry, let them not cease, but with the den confused enforce the present execution of which we chance to sentence.
Very well.
Make them strong and ready to hear that hint when we are happy to give it them.
Go about it. Put him to collar straight.
Ah, well here he comes.
Always, I do beseech you.
The honored gods keep Rome in safety. And the chairs of justice supplied with worthy men. Plant love among us. Throng our large temples with shows of peace, and not our streets with war.
Amen. A noble wish.
Draw near, people.
Audience, this to your tribunes. Peace, I say.
First, hear me speak.
Well, speak, peace, ho.
Shall I be charged no further than this present must all be decided here.
I do demand, do you allow the people's officers and are content to suffer lawful censure for the faults that shall be pressed upon you?
I'm content.
Lo, citizens, he says he is content. The warlike service he has done, consider. Think upon the wounds his body bears, which show like graves in the holy churches.
Scratches with briar, scars move laughter only.
Consider.
What is the matter? That being passed for consul with full voice, I am at this very honor. Did you take it off again?
Sir, answer to us.
Tis true, I also.
We charge you that you have contrived to take from Rome all seasoned power and to wind yourself into a power tyrannical. For this you are a traitor to the people.
Traitor. Nay, temperately, your promise.
Fire the lowest hellful to the people, call me their traitor! Thou injurious tribune. I would say thou liest with a voice as free as I do pray the gods!
Mark you this, people.
To the rock with him.
Peace! We need not add new meaning to the cause. What you have seen him do and heard him speak, beating your officers, cursing yourselves, opposing laws and strokes, and on to the magistrates that must try him. Even now, so criminal and such capital kind, deserves the most extremest death.
But since he hath served well for Rome.
And what do you prate of service?
I talk of that know it.
You? Is this the promise that you made your mother?
No, I pray you.
I know no further. Let them pronounce the steep Tarpeian death. Vagabond exile. Reign, pent to linger with but a grain a day. Would not buy their mercy for the price of one fair word, nor check my courage to handle with saying good morrow.
And for that he has. And for inasmuch as him lies, he has tried to seek means to take power from the people, and given hostile strokes not in the presence of dreaded justice, but unto the ministers that must distribute it. In the name of the people, and the power of us, the tribunes, we even in this instant banish him our city, in peril of precipitation off the rock Tarpeian, nevermore enter our Roman gates. In the people's name, it shall be so.
It shall be so!
He is sentenced. There is no more hearing.
Let me speak. I have been consul, and can show for Rome her enemies' marks upon me. I do love my country's good with a respect more tender, more holy and profound than mine own life.
Oh, we know your drift. Speak one.
No, there is no more to be said, but he is banished as traitor to the people and his country. It shall be so.
It shall be so.
It shall be so.
It
shall be so. It shall be so.
You common cry of curs! Whose breaths I hate, as reek of the rotten fens, whose loves I prize, as the unburied carcasses of dead men that do corrupt my air. I banish you, and so remain here with your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumor shake your hearts. Your enemies with nodding of their plumes fan you into despair. Have the power still to banish your defenders! So at length, your ignorance which once not till it feels, making not reservations of yourselves, still your own foes deliver you as most abated captives to a nation that won you without blows. Despising for you, your city, thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere.
We have fantastic treats for you, all to serve the old age actors' home. So please come.
You're the puppet. You're the puppet.
Hi there, young man. What can I get for you?
So why is he just holding it? I don't know. And then it's a puppet. It's a Taylor puppet.
You're very welcome. Can I help you, young lady? Do we have water? Yes. Yes, we have. Okay. Baking and water for the
That would make
right back. Nice little comedy.
no, because you didn't go to the ceremony.
Yeah.
See if there are any puppets back there without shaped like every other cat.
That would be a good experience.
Say
goes a lot for soundtracks. Good. This is our new intermission. Carrie slowly moonwalks backwards until intermission.
Thank you. Yes. Oh no, no.
Casey is yeah, she is very good. Like by off of the building way, then we get your good. Hey, by the way, when you're Olivia, you don't remember.
Oh yeah, absolutely I do. There we go. I thought about it. Oh, sure. For the Roman Juliet script, the Electron had already a shortened one that we had from like an educational standpoint. And so like, we'll have to take this and like edit it so much a lot of red pen in there. Yes, I will. Sure, absolutely. Yes, please. It was fun, and like the fact that like the cake was like here and it's funny, like it just like it depends on like who I'm speaking with, to like to know, oh, I'm gonna see a show from Carmel, and I just Carmel's too far away. And I also coached for language or they have a high school team at
Wait, I'm not done. It's all the four-letter words, and then there was the and just respect.
And then soundtrack everything with Chumbawamba sarcastically.
Now
I will say.
you're asking the controller or anything. Okay, that's good to know.
I use the fun.
Absolutely, thank you.
Because a lot of them are accidentally very thematic.
Yeah.
The version of war we use, it's some punk band called Erama.
Erama.
Yeah, and I just looked up Edwin Starr war covers, and I was looking for like a real hard rock kind of grungy version. It was the first one that popped up, and I was like, yeah, it was really the first image I had for this show. I just want to open it with war and a bunch of people.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Amy Perry. Nice to meet you. I couldn't tell if Casey was
a boy or
male or female.
I get that. I've been reviewed a couple times as Casey and once I was a cousin.
I don't think it would be a hard play to direct because there's so much philosophizing.
It's long, it's cocky, and
yeah.
And I feel like step by step thing. There's a lot of action. There's this battle that I can't stay on a 15-foot stage. So that big battle where, Marcius and Coriolanus are like in and out, like where's Marcius? That was like different feelings. But I was like,
Oh, wow.
it's gonna be fun.
Okay.
The longer the battle is, the more like choreography I'm doing.
Yeah. I see you choreography.
I did not.
Yeah, I thought it was a different name.
Yeah, my professor from college is an expert of close hand leg combat, and I've always been kind of looking at it as sort of more gang warfare and like a big war, since I was going to do it with a smaller guy. And so I told him the college is 2 hours away, so he would come down on weekends and do the fight and go back to school. So it was a little laborious, but I'm very lucky that I have so much to do. It's just not my strong.
Yes, I was looking at the credits of a Buffy movie or something, and I found out there is such an occupation as a fight choreography.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Definitely for something like this, unless they would be more mangled than me.
Yeah. I was thinking, that was, well, they probably aren't very sharp, but that was really steel.
But that's great stuff.
Yeah, I thought so, I could tell.
Well, yeah, swung at an angle is
Tired. You've been tired of Shakespeare.
Okay, thanks for answering my question.
Yeah, true. One or the other. What else can you do for
Yeah, didn't pay attention to the fact that it's just in the comics doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Armies are here. People who have,
Come. Leave your tears. Brief farewell. The beast with many heads busts me away. Hey, good mother, where is your ancient courage? You were used to say that extremity was the trier of spirits, that common chances common men could bear. When the sea was calm, all ships alike showed mastership in floating. Fortune's blows, being gentle wounded when most struck home, craves a noble cunning. You were used to load me with precepts that would make invincible the heart that calmed them.
Oh heavens! Oh heavens!
Pretty
Now the
woman.
red pestilence strike all trades in Rome, and occupations perish.
Shall be loved. when I am lacked. Nay, mother, resume that spirit where you were wont to say, if you had been the wife of Hercules, 6 of his labors you'll have done and saved your husband so much sweat. Cominius, if not, adieu. My wife, my mother, I'll do well yet. True Menenius, thy tears are saltier than a younger man's and venomous to thine eyes. My sometime general, I have seen thee stem, and thou hast oft beheld heart-hardening spectacles. Tell these sad women, 'tis fond to wail inevitable strokes of this to laugh at them. My mother, you I will my hazard to have been your solace.
My first son, whither wilt thou go? Take good Cominius with thee a while. Determine some course more than mere chance which starts upon thy way.
Gods, I will follow thee a month. Advise with thee where thou shalt rest, that thou mayst hear of us and we of thee. So if the time thrusts forth a cause for their appeal, we won't seek o'er the vast world in search of a single man, and lose our advantage, which doth ever cool in the absence of the needer.
Fare you well. And thou art too full of the war surfeits to go rove with one that's yet unbruised. Leave it out at gate. Dear wife, my sweet mother, my friends of noble touch, when I am forth, bid me farewell and smile. And while I remain above the ground, you shall hear from me still, and never aught was like me formerly. That's worthily as any ear can hear. Come, let's not weep. Give me thy hand.
The mold only gone, he will no further. The nobility are vexed, which we have seen that they have cited on his behalf.
Now we have shown our power. Let us seem humbler after it is done than when it was a-doing.
Get them all home. He's gone. Say that their enemy is gone, and they stand on their ancient strength.
Here is his mother.
Let's not meet her.
Why?
They say she's mad.
Then let us take her leave.
Oh, you're well yes. The horrid plague of the gods requite your love.
Peace, peace, be not so loud.
Oh, if I could but for weeping, you would hear. Nay, you shall hear some. Will you be gone?
You shall stay too. I would. I had the power to say so to my husband.
Oh, are you mankind? I, fool? Is that a shame? Note, but this fool was not a man, my father. Hast thou fuckship to banish him who has struck more blows for Rome than thou hast words?
Oh, blessed heaven.
More noble blows than ever thou wise words, and for Rome's good. I'll tell thee what? Yet go. Nay, but thou shalt stand too. I wish my son were in Arabia, and thy tribe before him, his good sword in his hand.
What then?
What then? He'll make an end of thy posterity.
Bastards and all. Good man. The wounds that he does bear for Rome.
Come, peace.
I would had he with his country where he began, and not unknit the noble knot he did make.
I would he had.
I would he had. 'Twas you incensed the rabble. Cats that can as fitly judge of his worth as I can those mysteries which heaven will not have earth to know.
Pray, let us go.
Yes, Pray get you gone. But ere you go, hear this. As far as does the capital exceed the meanest house in Rome, so far doth my son, this lady's husband here, this, do you see, exceed you all.
Well, we'll leave you.
Why stay and be painted by one that wants her wits?
Take my prayers with you! I would the gods had nothing else to do but to exceed my curses. If I could but meet him once a day, it would unclog my heart of what lies heavy to it.
You have told them all. By my troth, you have cause. You'll sup with me?
Anger is my meat, I sup upon myself. And so starve with the feeding. Come. Come. Let's leave this faint puling and lament, as I do, in anger, judo-like. Come. Come, come.
Fine.
Goodly city is this Antium. City, desire that made thy widows. Many an heir of these fair edifices for my wars have I heard groan and drop. Then know me not, lest thy wives with spits and boys with stones in puny battle slay me. Save you, sir.
And you, sir.
I do beseech you, if it be your will, direct me where great Aufidius lies. Is he in Antium?
He is. He feasts the nobles of the state at his house this night.
Which is his house, beseech you?
This here, before you.
Thank you, sir. Farewell. World, thy slippery turns. Friends now fast sworn, whose double bosoms seem to wear one heart, whose house, whose bed, whose meal and exercise are still together, who twin as twere in love, inseparable, shall within this hour, on the dissension of a doit, break out to bitterest enmity. So fell us foes, whose passions and whose plots have broke their sleep to take the one by the other, shall by some chance, some trick, not worth an egg, grow dear friends, and interjoin their issues. So with me, my birthplace, hate I, and my love on this enemy town. I'll enter. If he slay me, he does great justice. If he give me way, I'll do his country service. Goodly house. The feast smells well, but I appear not like a guest.
What would you have, friend? Whence are you, sir? Pray, get you to the door. This is no place for you.
Deserve no better entertainment in being Coriolanus.
Whence are you, sir? Does the porter lack eyes in his head that he gives entrance to such companions? Pray you get out. Away. Away, you away!
Now thou art troublesome.
Are you so brave? I'll have you talked with anon. Do you meddle with my master?
Aye! 'Tis an honester service to meddle with thy mistress! Thou praise and praise, serve with thy treacher hates!
Where is this fellow? Whence camest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? What? Why speaks not? Speak, man! What's thy name?
If Tullus not yet thou knowest me, and seeing me does not know me for who I am, necessity commands me to name myself.
What's thy name?
A name unmusical to Volscian ears, and harsh in sound to thine.
Say, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance. My face bears commandant, though thy tackle is torn. Thou showest a noble vessel. What's thy name?
Bear thy brow with frown. My name is Caius Marcius, who hath done to thee particularly, and to all Volscians great hurt and mischief. Thereto witness may my surname, Coriolanus. The painful service and drops of blood shed for my thankless country are but requited with that name. Good memory, and witness to the malice and displeasure that thou shouldst spare me. Only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people permitted by our dastard nobles who hath forsook me hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whipped out of Rome. Now this extremity hath brought me to thy heart. Now out of hope mistake me not to save my life. For if I had feared death for all men of the world, I would have avoided thee. But to be full quit of those my banishers, stand I before thee here. So if thou hast a heart of wreak in thee, that wilt revenge thine own particular wrongs and stop those maims of shame seen through thy country, speed thee straight. And let my misery serve thy turn. So use it, that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee. For I will fight against my cankered country with all the spleen of the underfiends. If so be thou darest not this, and that thou art tired, then in a word I am also longer to live most weary. Present my throat to thee, and thy ancient malice, which not to cut, would show thee but a fool. For I have followed thee with hate, drawn tons of blood out of thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Marcius. Let me twine mine arms about that body, or against my grain dash 100 times that broken scarred the moon with splinters. Here I clip the angle of my sword, and do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valor. Know thou first, I love the maid I married. Never man sighed truer breath. But then I see thee here, thou noble thing. More dances my rapt heart than when I first my wedded mistress saw bestride my threshold. Why, thou Mars, I tell thee, we have a power on foot, and I had a purpose, once again, to hew thy target from thy brawn, or lose my arm for it. Thou hast beaten me out 12 several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. Oh, come together in my sleep, unbuckling helms, fisting each other's throats, and waked half dead with nothing. Worthy Marcius, had we no quarrel else to Rome, but that thou art thence banished, we would muster all from 12 to 70, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome like a bull, flood, or bear. But come in, and take our friendly senators by the hands who are here now, taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
You bless me, gods.
And therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the one half of my commission, and set down, as best thou art experienced, since thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways, whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or to visit them rudely in parts remote, to frighten or destroy. But come in. Let me first commend thee to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. Yet, Marcius, that was much. Your hand? Most welcome.
Neither should we fear him. His remedies are tame in the present peace and quietness of the streets, which were once in a wild hurry. Here do we make his friends blush to know that the world doth go well, though they themselves did suffer by it. Behold the census numbers flooding the streets, then hear our tradesmen in their shops going about our functions friendly.
We stood to it in good time. Is this Menenius?
'Tis he, 'tis he. He's grown kind as of late.
Well, hail, sir.
Hail to you both.
Your Coriolanus is not much missed, but by his friends. Commonwealth does stand and would do so, even if he were more angry with it.
All's well. Might have been much better if he could have temporized.
Where is he, hear you?
Nay, I hear nothing. His mother and his wife hear nothing from him.
It is a happier, more comely time than when these fellows ran about the streets crying confusion.
Caius Marcius was a worthy officer in the war, but insolent, o'ercome with pride, ambitious past all thinking, self-loving.
Going up on a one-sole throne without much help.
I think not so.
If he'd have gone forth for counsel, we would have found it so.
The gods have well prevented it. And Rome sits safe and still without him.
Most noble sir, there is a slave whom we have put in prison reports. The Volscians, with 2 several powers, are injured in the Roman territories, and with the deepest malice of the war destroy what lies before him.
'Tis Phidias, who, hearing of our Marcius' banishment, thrusts forth his horns again into the world.
What, speak what of Marcius?
No, go see this rumor whipped. It cannot be the Volscians dare break with us.
Cannot be. We have record that very well it can, and 3 examples of the like have been within my age. But reason with the fellow before you punish him where he heard this, lest you should chance to whip the information and beat the messenger who bids beware of one's to be dreaded.
Well, tell not me. I know it cannot be.
Not possible.
The nobles in all earnestness are to the Senate House. Some news has come that turns their countenances.
'Tis a slave! Go beat her for the people's faces! He's standing nothing but his report!
Yes, worthy sir. The slave's report is seconded, and more fearful is delivered.
How more fearful?
It is spoke out of many mouths, how probable I do not know, that Marcius joined with Phidias, leads a power against Rome, and vows revenge as spacious as between the youngest and oldest thing.
No, this is most likely.
Raised only that the weaker sort may wish good Marcius home again.
Oh, 'tis a very trick on me.
This is unlikely. He and Phidias can no more atone than violentest contrariety.
good work.
What news? What news?
You have hoped to ravish your own daughters, to melt the city leads upon your pates, to see your wives dishonored to your noses,
What's
your
the
temples
news?
burned to
What's
their
the-
cement, and the franchises whereon you stood confined into an auger's board.
Pray you, your news! You have made fair work, I fear. Pray your news. If Marcius should be joined with Volscians,
he is their god. He leads them like a thing made from some deity other than nature that shapes men better. And they follow him against us brats with no less confidence than boys pursuing summer butterflies or butchers killing flies.
you have made good work. You and your apron men, you that stood so much on the voice of occupation and the breath of garlic eaters.
He will shake your Rome about your ears.
As Hercules did shake down mellow fruit, you have made good work.
We are all undone unless the noble man have mercy.
But is this true, sir?
Aye. And you will look pale before you find it other. All the regions do smilingly revolt, and who resist are mocked for valiant ignorance and perish constant fools. And who is can blame him? Your enemies and his find something in him.
We're undone, unless we ask mercy.
And who shall ask it? The tribunes cannot do it for shame. The people deserve such pity of him as the wolves do of the shepherd. And for his best friends, if they should say, "Be good to Rome," they charged him even as those should do who had deserved his hate, and therein showed like enemies.
If you were putting to my house the brand that should consume it, I have not the face to say, "Beseech you, cease." You have made fair hands. You and your crafts, you have crafted fair.
You have brought a trembling upon Rome such as was never so incapable of help.
Say not, we brought it.
How? Was it we? We loved him, but like beasts and cowardly nobles gave way unto your clusters who did hoot him out of the city.
I fear they'll roar him in again. Tell us how Phidias, that second name of man, obeys his points as if he were his officer. Desperation is the only policy, strength, and defense that Rome can make against them.
You are they that made the air unwholesome when you cast your stinking, greasy caps in hooting at Coriolanus' exile. Now he's coming, and not a hair upon a soldier's head but will not prove a whip. As many coxcombs as you threw caps up will he tumble down and pay you for your voices. 'Tis no matter. If he were putting to us all one coal, we have deserved it.
For mine own part, when I said banish him, 'twas pity.
Goodly thing your voice.
You have made good work, you and your cry shells to the capital.
Aye. What else?
Go home and show no fear. These are a kind that would be glad for this to be true. Go home, show no fear.
Gods be good to us. I ever said we were in the wrong when we said banish him. So did we all.
I do not like this news.
Nor I.
Let's to the capital. With half my wealth would buy this for a lie.
Pray, let us go.
They still fly to the Roman.
I do not know what witchcraft is in him, sir. But your soldiers use him as their grace for meat, their talk at table, their thanks at end. You were darkened in this action, sir, even by your own.
I cannot help it now, unless by using means I lame the foot of our design. He does bear himself more proudly, or even in my own person, than I thought he would when I first did embrace it. But his nature in that's no changeling. We must excuse what cannot be amended.
Still, I wish, for your particular, that you had not joined in commission with him, that either you had taken the action upon yourself or to him left it solely.
I understand thee well, and be thou sure, He shall be brought to his account. He knows not what I can hold against him. Although it seems, and so he thinks, and seems no less apparent to the vulgar eye that he bears all things fairly. Shows good husbandry for the Volscian state, fights dragon-like, and does achieve as soon as draw his sword. Yet he hath left undone that which should break his neck or hazard mine. We shall be brought to our account.
I beseech you, sir. Pray, think you he'll carry Rome?
All places yield to him ere he sits down. The nobility of Rome are his. Senators and patricians love him too. The tribunes are no soldiers, and their people will be as rash in the repeal, as hasty to expel him thence. I think he'll be to Rome as is the osprey to the fish, who takes by sovereignty of nature. First he was a noble servant to them, but he could not carry his honors even. Whether 'twas pride, which out of daily fortune ever taints the happy man, whether defective judgment to fail in disposing of the chances he was made lord of, or whether by nature not to be other than one thing, not to move from the cask to the cushion, but commanding peace, even with the same austerity and garb as he controlled the war. But one of these, as he had spices of them all, not all, for I dare so far free him, made him so feared, so hated, and so banished. Yet he has a manner to choke it in the utterance. So our virtues lie in the interpretation of the time, and power, to itself most commendable, hath not a tomb so evident as a chair to extol what it hath done. One fire drives out one fire, one nail. Rights by rights falter, strengths by strengths do fail. Come, let's away. When Marcia's Rome is thine, thou art poorest of all, and surely art thou mine.
I'll not go. You hear what he hath said, which was sometime his general, who loved him in a most dear particular. He called me father. What of that? Go, you that banished him, a mile before his tent fall down, and knead your way into his mercy. Nay, if he call you to hear Cominius speak, I'll keep it home.
He would not seem to know me.
You hear?
Yet one time did he call me by my name. I urged our old acquaintance in the drops we've led together. Coriolanus he would not answer to, forbade all names. He was a kind of nothing, titleless, till he should forge himself a name in the fires of burning Rome.
Why, son, you have made good work. You pair of tribunes that have racked for Rome to make coals cheap. A noble memory.
I minded him, how royal 'twas, to pardon when it was least expected. He replied that it was a bare petition of state to one whom they had punished.
Very well. Could he say less?
I offered to awaken his regard for his private friends. His answer to me was, he could not stay to pick them from a pile of noisome, musty chaff. He said 'twas folly for one poor grain or two to leave unburned and still to nose the offense.
For one poor grain or two? I am one of those. His mother, wife, his child, this brave fellow too. We are but the grains. You are musty chaff. You are smelt above the moon. We must be burned for you.
Pray you, sir, be patient. If you do refuse your aid in this much-needed help, but not upbraid with our distress, but become your people's pleader. Your tongue more than an instant army could stop our countrymen.
No, I'll not meddle.
Pray you go to it.
What should I do?
Only make trial of what your love can do for Rome towards Marcius.
Well, and say that he return me, as Cominius is returned me. What then?
Well,
but as a discontented friend, grief shot with his unkindness, say it be so.
Your goodwill will have the thanks of Rome, for you have intended well.
I'll undertake it. I think he'll hear me. Yet to bite his lip and hum at good Cominius much unhearts me. He was not taken well. He had not dined. Now our veins unfilled, our blood is cold, and then we pout upon the morning, are unapt to give or to forgive. But when we have stuffed these and these conveyances of our blood with wine and feeding, we have suppler souls than in our priest-like fasts. Therefore I'll watch him till he be dieted to my request, and then I'll set upon him.
You know the very road to his kindness, and cannot lose your way.
Good faith, I'll prove him, speed how it will. I shall ere long have knowledge of my success.
He'll never hear him.
Not?
I tell you, he does sit in gold. His eye red as 'twould burn gold. His injury, the jailer to his pity. I kneel before him! It was very faintly he said, "Rise." Dismissed me thus with his speechless hand. What he would do came in writing after me, what he would not, bound in oaths to yield to his conditions, so that all hope is vain. Unless his noble mother and his wife, who I hear, need to solicit him for mercy to his country. Therefore, let us hence, and with our fair entreaties, haste them on.
Stay. Whence are you? Stand and go back.
You guard like men. 'Tis well, but by your leave I am an officer of state and come to speak with Coriolanus.
From whence?
From Rome.
You must return. You may go back. Our general will no more hear from thence. You will see your Rome embraced with fire before you speak with Coriolanus.
I tell thee, friend, if you have heard your general speak of Rome and of his friends there, it is lots to blanks, my name hath touched your ears. It is Menenius.
Be it so. Go back. The virtue of your name is not here passable.
I tell thee, fellow, the general is my lover. I have been the book of his good acts when meant has read his name unparalleled, happily amplified with all the sighs that would without lapsing cease. For I have ever verified the friends with all the sighs that would. Nay, sometimes, like to a bowl unto a subtle ground, I have tumbled past the throw, and in his praise have almost stamped the leasing. Therefore, fellow, I must have leave to pass.
Faith, sir, if you had uttered as many lies in his behalf as you have uttered words in your own, you should not pass here, though it were as virtuous to lie as to live chastely. Therefore, go back.
Prithee, fellow, remember my name is Menenius, always factionary on the party of thy general.
Howsoever you have been his liar, as you say thou hast been, I am one telling true under him, must tell you cannot pass. Therefore, go
back. Has he dined, canst thou tell? For I would not speak with him till after dinner.
You are a Roman, are you?
I am, as thy general is.
Then you should hate Rome, as he does. Can you, when you have pushed out your gates the very defender of them, and in a violent, popular ignorance, given your enemy your shield, think to front his revenges with the easy groans of old women, the virginal palms of your dotard, or the palsied intercession of such a decayed dotant as you seem to be? Can you blow out the intended fire your city is ready to flame in with such weak breath as this? No, you were deceived. Therefore, back to Rome and prepare for your execution. You are condemned. Our general has sworn you have reprieve and pardon.
Sirrah! If thy captain knew I were here, he would use me with
Come, our
estimation.
captain knows you not!
I mean, thy general.
Our general cares not for you. Back, I say, let I lust for the half pint of your blood. Back, that's the best part of you having.
Nay, but, fellow,
back.
What's the matter? Now, you companion, I shall say an errand for you. You shall know now that I am in estimation. You shall perceive that a Jack Gardent cannot office me for my son Coriolanus. Guess, but my entertainment with him, if thou standest not in a state of hanging, or of some death more long in spectatorship and crueler in suffering. Behold, now presently, and swoon for what's to come upon thee. The glorious gods sit in hourly synod about thy particular prosperity, and love thee no worse than thy old father Menenius does. My son, thou art preparing fire for us. Look thee, here's water to quench it. Though I was hardly moved to come see thee, being assured that none but myself could move thee, I have been blown out of your gates with sighs, and conjure thee to pardon Rome and thy petitionary countrymen. The good gods assuage thy wrath, and turn the dregs of it upon this varlet here, this who, like a block, hath denied my access to thee.
Away.
How? Away?
Wife. Mother. Child. No one else. My affairs are servants to others. Though I do owe my revenge properly, my remission lies in Volscian breast. So we have been familiar. In great forgetfulness shall poison rather than pity note how much. Be gone. Mine ears against your suits have more power than your walls against my force. That we have been familiar. Take this along with you. I read it for thy sake. You would have rent it. Another word, Menenius, I will not hear thee speak. This man, Ophidius, was my beloved in Rome. And thou beholdest.
You keep a constant temper.
Now, sir, is your name Menenius?
It is a name you see of great power. You do know your way home again.
Do you hear how we are shed for keeping your greatness back?
What cause do you think I have to swoon?
I neither care for this world nor for thy general. For such things as you, I can scarce think there's any here so slight. He that hath a will to die by himself fears it not from another. Let thy general do his worst. As for you, be that you are long and your miseries increase with your age. I say to you, as I was sent,
Noble fellow, I want him.
The noble fellow is our general. He is a rock, the oak not to be wind shaken.
Rome tomorrow, set down our hosts. My partner, his action. You must report to the Volscian lords how plainly I have borne this business.
Only their ends have you respected. Stopped your ear against the general suit of Rome. Never admitted a private whisper. No, not with such friends who thought themselves sure of you.
This last man, whom with a cracked heart I sent to Rome, loved me above the measure of a father. Hey, God in me, indeed. Their latest refuge was to send for him, for whose old love I have, though showed sourly to him, once more offered the first conditions, but they did refuse and cannot now accept. To grant him, thought that he could have done more. Very little I yielded to. Fresh embassies and suits, not from the state nor private friends, hereafter will I lend an ear to. What sound is this? Shall I be tempted to infringe my vow at the same time 'tis made? I will not. My wife comes foremost. In the honored mold wherein this trunk was framed, and in her hand the grandchild to her blood. But out, affection, all bond and privilege of nature, break! Let it be virtuous to be obstinate. What is that courtesy worth? Are those dove's eyes that make gods forsworn? My mother bows, as if Olympus to a molehill should in supplication nod, and my young boy hath an aspect of intercession that nature cries, deny not. Let the vultures plow Rome and harrow Italy. Be not such a gosling to obey instinct, but stand as if man were author of himself and knew no other kin.
My lord and husband.
These eyes are not to say my warm Rome.
The sorrow that delivers us thus changed makes you think so.
Now, I have forgot my part, and I am out even to a full disgrace. That's my flesh. Forgive me of my tyranny. Do not say for that, forgive our Romans. Kiss. Long as my exile, sweet as my revenge. The jealous queen of heaven, that kiss I carried from thee, my dear, my true lip hath virgin it ever since. Gods, I prate, and leave the most noble mother of the world unsaluted. Sink my knee in the earth. If thy deep duty and more impression show than that of common sons.
Oh. Stand up. Blessed, whilst with no softer cushion than a flint, I kneel before thee, and uncommonly show duty, as mistaken all this while between the child and the parent.
What is this? Your needs to me, your corrected son. Let the pebbles of the beach fill up the stars. Let the mutinous winds strike the proud cedars against the fiery sun. Murdering impossibility and making what cannot be slight work.
Thou art my warrior. I help to frame thee. Here's a poor epitome of yours, which through the interpretation of full time may show like all yourself.
God soldiers, with the consent of supreme Jove, inform thy thoughts with nobleness, that thou mayst prove the shame unvulnerable. Stick of the wars like a great sea mark, standing every flaw and serving those that eye thee.
Thy new Sarah.
It's my young boy.
Even he, your wife, myself, are suitors to you.
I beseech you, peace! Where field ask, remember this before. What I have forsworn to grant may never be held by your denials. Do not bid me dismiss my soldiers, or capitulate again with Rome's mechanics. Tell me not wherein I seem unnatural. Desire not to ally my rages and revenges with your colder reasons.
Oh, no more. No more. You have said you will not grant us anything, since all we have left to ask is what you have denied already. Yet we will ask that if you fail in our request, the blame may hang on your hardness. Therefore, hear us.
Phineas! In your vultures, Mark. For we'll hear not from Rome in private. Your request.
Should we be silent and not speak? Our arraignment and state of bodies would betray the life we have led since thy exile. Look with thyself how more unfortunate than all living women are we come hither, since that thy sight, which should make our eyes fill with comfort, our hearts dance with contentments, constrains them weep and shake with fear and sorrow, making the mother, the wife, the child, to see the son, the husband, and the father tearing his country's bowels out. And to poor we, thy enmity is most capital. Thou barst our prayers to the gods, a comfort all but we enjoy. For how can we? How can we for our country pray? Whereto we are bound together with thy victory? Whereto we are bound? For alack, either we must lose our country, our dear nurse, or else thy person, our comfort in the country. We must face an evident calamity, whether we had our wish, which side would win. Or either thou must, as a foreign recreant, be led in manacles through our streets, or else triumphantly tread on thy country's ruin, and proudly bear the palm for having shed thy wife and children's blood. For myself, son, I purpose not to wait on fortune till these wars determine. If I cannot persuade thee, rather to show a noble grace to both parts, than seek the end of one, thou shalt not no sooner march to assault thy country. Trust to it, thou shalt not, than to tread upon thy mother's womb that brought thee to this world.
I and mine that brought you forth this boy to keep your name living to time.
And shall not tread on me, for I'll run away until I am bigger, but then I'll fight.
face to see. I've stood too long.
Wait! Go not from us thus. If it were so, that our request did tend to save the Romans and thereby destroy the Volscians whom you serve, you might condemn us as poisonous to your honor. No. Our suit is that you reconcile them. And while the Volscians may say this mercy we have shown, the Romans this we have received, each on either side shall give thee all hail to thee and cry, be blessed for having made up this peace. For thou knowest, great son, the end of war is uncertain, but this certain, that if you conquer Rome, the benefit which thou shalt thereby receive shall be such a name, whose repetition shall be dogged with curses, whose chronicle thus writ, the man was known, but with his last attempt he wiped it out, destroyed his country, and his name remains to the ensuing age abhorred. Speak to me, son. Thou hast affected the fine strains of honor to imitate the glories of the gods, to tear with thunder the fine state of the air, to charge your sulphur with a bolt that shall but rive an oak. Thou dost not speak. Think'st thou it honorable for a noble man still to remember wrongs? Speak, daughter! He cares not for your weeping. Speak, boy. Perhaps thy childishness can move him more than can our reasons. There is no man in the world more bound to his mother, and yet here he lets me prate like one in the stocks. Thou hast never in thy life granted thy poor mother any courtesy, while she, poor hand, hath plucked thee to the wars and back, loading with honor. You say my request's unjust and spurn me back, but if it be not so, thou art not honest, and the gods shall plague thee, that thou restrainst from me that duty which to a mother's part belongs. He turns away! Down, lady. Let us shame him with our knees. Certain Coriolanus owes more pride than pity to our prayers. Down! Nay, because this boy, who shall speak more truly of his worth. Come. Let us go. This man had a Volscians to a mother, and his wife lives in Coriolanus, and his child is like him by chance. Yet give us our dispatch. I am hushed until our city be aflame, and then I'll speak a
this unnatural scene they laugh at. You won a happy victory to Rome. Believe it. And most dangerously you have prevailed with your son, if not most mortal to him. Let it come. Phidias, though I cannot make true wars, I'll frame convenient peace. Now, good Phidias, were you in my stead, would you have heard a mother less? Or granted less? Phidias!
I was moved with all.
I dare be sworn you were. It is no small thing to make mine eyes sweat compassion. That peace you'll make. Advise me. For my part, I'll not to Rome, I'll back with you. Pray you. Stand with me in this business. My mother.
I am glad thou hast set thy mercy and thy valor a difference in thee. Out of this I'll make myself a former.
By and by. But we will drink together. Now come. Sit with us. Ladies, you deserve to have a temple built to you. And all the swords of Italy or her confederate arms could have framed this peace.
See you, young coin of the capital, young cornerstone.
What of it?
If it be possible for you to displace it with your little finger, then there is some hope the ladies of Rome, especially his mother, may prevail with him.
Is it possible that such a short amount of time can alter the condition of a man?
There's difference between a grub and a butterfly, and your butterfly was a grub. This Marcius has grown from man to dragon. He has wings, he's more than a creeping thing.
He loved his mother dearly.
So did he me, and he no more remembers his mother now than an 8-year-old horse. The tartness of his face sours ripe grapes. When he walks, he moves like an engine, and the ground shrinks before his treading. He is able to pierce a corselet with his eye, talks like a knell, and his hum is an engine. And he sits in his state as a thing made for Alexander. What he bids be done is finished with his bidding, and he wants nothing of a god but eternity and a heaven to throne.
Mercy, if you speak him true.
I paint him in the character. You mark what mercy his mother shall bring from him. There's no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger. That shall our poor city find. All this is long of you.
Oh, the gods be good unto us.
No. In such a case, the gods will not be good unto us. When we banished him, we respected not them. He returned to break our necks, they respected.
Sir, if you'd save your life, fly to your house. The plebeians have got your fellow tribune and hail him up and down, all swearing, if the Roman ladies bring not comfort home, they'll give him death by inches.
What news?
Good news! Good news! The ladies have prevailed. The Volscians are dislodged. Marcius gone. Never is a merrier day greeted Rome. No, not the expulsion of the Tarquins.
Friend, are you quite certain? Are you certain?
As certain as I am, the sun is fire. Where have you learned that you make doubt of it? Never, through an arch, has hurried the blown tide as the recomforted through the gates. Hark you! The trumpets, the cymbals, the tables ascending make the sun dance! Hark you!
This is good news! I will go and meet the ladies. This Volumnia is worth of consuls senators such as you, a sea and land full. You have prayed well today. This morning for 10,000 of your throats, I have not given a doit heart-healthy joy.
First, the gods grant you many tidings. Second, accept my thankfulness.
We all have great reason to give thanks.
Are they in the city?
Almost to the point of entering.
Come, let us help the joy.
Go and tell the lords of the city I am here. Deliver them this paper. Having read it, bid them repair to the marketplace, where I, even in theirs and in the commons' ears, will vouch the truth of it. Him I accuse, the city courts by this have entered, and intends to appear before the people, hoping to purge herself with words. Dispatch.
How is it with your general?
Even so, as would a man by his own alms and poison, and with his charity slain.
If you do hold us in the same intent wherein you wished us parties, we'll deliver you of your great danger.
Sir, I cannot tell. We must proceed as we do find the people.
The people will remain uncertain whilst twixt you there's difference, but the fall of one makes a survivor heir of all.
I know it. And my pretext is striking him amidst a good construction. I raised him, and I pawned mine honor for his truth, who, being so heightened, he watered his new plants with the dews of flattery, seducing so my friends, and to that end he bowed his nature, never known before, but to be rough, unswayable, and free.
Sir, his stoutness when he stood for consul, which he'd lost for lack of stooping.
That I would have spoke of. Being banished for it, he came unto my hearth, presented to my knife his throat. I took him, made him joint servant with me, gave way in all his desires. Nay, let him choose out of my files his projects to accomplish, my best and freshest man. Served in his designments, even in mine own person. Hoped to reap the fame which he did end all his, and took some pride to do myself this injury, till at the last I appeared his follower, not partner. And he waged me with his countenance as if I had been mercenary.
Thus he did, sir. The army marveled at it. And in the end, when he had carried Rome, and we sought for no less spoil than glory.
There was it! For which my sinews were stretched upon him. At certain drops of women's room, which are as cheap as lies, he sold the blood and labor of our great action. Therefore shall he die, and I'll renew me in his fall. But hark!
Your native town, you entered like a post, but he returns, splitting the air with noise, and patient fools whose base throats tear with giving him glory. Therefore, ere he express himself, move the people with what he would say. Let him feel your sword, which we will second. When he lies along your way, his tale pronounced shall bury his reasons with his body.
Say no more. He approaches. You shall hear.
Hail, lords. And return your souls are no more infected with my country's love than when we parted hence, but still subsisting under your great command. You are to know that prosperously and with bloody passage I have led your wars even to the gates of Rome. The spoils which we have brought home do more than counterpoise a full third part of the action. We have made peace. With no less honor to the Antiochs than shame to the Romans. We here deliver, subscribed by the consuls and patricians, together with the seal of the Senate, what we have compounded on.
Read it not, noble lords, but tell the traitor, in the highest degree, he hath abused the powers.
Traitor?
Aye, traitor, Marcius. Aye, Marcius, Caius Marcius! Dost thou think I'll grace thee with that robbery? Thy stolen name, Coriolanus and Corioli? You lords and heads of state, perfidiously he hath abused your business, and given up for certain drops of salt your city Rome, I say your city, to his wife and mother. Broken his oath and resolution like a twist of rotten silk, never admitting counsel or the war, but at his nurse's tears he whined, and he roared away your victory, such that pages blushed at him and men of heart looked wondering each at other.
Hearest thou, Mars?
No, speak not of the god, thou boy of tears. No more.
Measureless liar. Thou hast made my heart too great for what contains it. Boy! Slave. Pardon me, lords. This is the first time I was ever forced to scold! You guys must in turn thrust the lie onto this cur who wears my stripes impressed upon him! Must bear my beating even to his grave. So thrust the lie onto him.
Peace, peace. Hear me speak.
Oh, cut me to pieces, Volsces! Men and lads, stain all your edges on me. You have read your annals true. 'Tis there, that like an eagle in a dovecote I fluttered your Volsces and Corioli. Alone I did it! Boy!
Will you be put in mind of his blind fortune?
Which was your shame?
Before this unholy braggart for your own eyes and ears?
Let him die for it. Stand, Ophidius.
Would I had him with Sisyphus was on more his tribe to use my lofty sword. Villain!
Kill!
Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill!
My noble masters! Hear me speak! Hold! 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 My masters! Let me have your words! Hear me!
April morning, summer comes soon. Clouds follow after. Morning sun is hidden by noon. Day shrouded over. Tears to face the morning news. We watch our future burn and wonder if we'll ever learn that words can save us. War in broken promised land, fame, fear and gunfire, cowboy culture, blood on its hands, flag, fuel and empire. Bid parts the shooting stars above the dying trees. No one looking up to see how words can save us. Number one, favorite son, one more outsider. Army drops its cluster bombs. Boy sees his future. World, are you listening now? This fool just had his day. Who'll be brave enough to say that words can save us? World, are you listening now? This fool just had his day. Who'll be brave enough to say that words can save us?
whereat valor will weep.
Do not tread upon her. Masters, all be quiet. Put up your swords.
My lords, when you shall know, as in this rage provoked by him you could not, the great disservice this man's life did owe you, you shall rejoice that he is thus cut off. Noble lords, if it please you to bid me to your senate, I will deliver myself, your noble servant, or endure your heaviest censure.
Bear from hence his body, and mourn you for him. Let him be regarded as the most noble course that ever herald did follow to his heart.
His impatience has taken from Ophidius a good chunk of the blame. Let us make the best of it.
My rage is gone, and I am struck with sorrow. Take him up. 3 of the chiefest soldiers, I'll be one. Beat thou the drum, that it may speak mournfully. Trail your steel pikes. Though he hath widowed and unchild many in this city who to this hour bewail the injury, yet he shall be given a noble memory. Assist!